This week's episodes of Amphibia were, as creator Matt Brawley put it, the last fun episodes of the series, putting the final pieces in place before the 3-week finale, which kicks off this Saturday with the episodes 3 Armies and the beginning of the end. But in the meanwhile, we have the return of old characters, the final recruitments of the Resistance, and the key to stopping King Andrias. This is our breakdown of Newts in Tights and Fight or Flight, running through the biggest details you should know before heading into the endgame. Before we dive in, I just wanted to let you guys know that we now have the thanks feature enabled on our channel, which is basically just a tip jar, so if you ever want to show us some extra love without becoming a patron or channel member, that's gonna be a pretty great way to do so. Other ways include checking out our new merch shop, Toon Drip, with more designs coming soon, and throwing this video a like and subscribing to the Roundtable with notifications on so you never miss a video. Okay, let's dive in. Starting with Newts in Tights. Ann and Sprig seem to be on another scouting mission, discovering that not all of Andrias' army are robots or mind-controlled wildlife, but willing newts and toads as well. This is a plot development that kinda took me by surprise, as I figured Andrias would find robots more reliable, and frankly way more capable than organic beings with their own moral code. Plus, we saw how he doesn't seem to value the lives on Amphibia at all, as he had no qualms with quite literally collapsing Newtopia's economy right before their very eyes. And those are the elites. However, because both a handful of toads and newts have shown a superiority complex throughout the series, it does check out that they'd be willing to fight for Andrias and look forward to the prospect of enslaving other worlds. Andrias' soldiers are distracted by a young boy faking to have an injury, Jojo Potato, voiced by Archie Yates, who plays Yorkie in the 2019 film Jojo Rabbit, directed by Taika Waititi. That's right, just like how The Root of All Evil was a loose parody of Midsommar with extremely out of context references, Jojo Potato's character is a loose parody of the film Jojo Rabbit. The Amphibia crew really loved cinema in the year 2019, huh? But of course, this episode's bigger influence is Robin Hood, as Jojo Potato is really a part of Tritonio's group, someone Ann isn't happy to see whatsoever. Speaking of which, Ann is equipped with Tritonio's family sword, a weapon she received in combat camp, which glows blue at night. So I and many other viewers at the time assumed there was an intrinsic connection to the sword and the stones of the Calamity Box. But nah, I think it's just blue to look cool. It does briefly glow later on, however, when Ann throws it at Tritonio. We also learned that Tritonio grew up in Newtopia as a homeless child, joining whatever street gang crossed his path, with the laws of the streets constantly looming over his head. No attachment, no loyalty. On Earth, we just call this dating in 2022. Honk honk. Ann and Sprig agree to help Tritonio's raids as long as he agrees to join the rebellion. No deception whatsoever. Tritonio's group stumbles into one of Andrias' traps, with the caravan they're raiding being filled with cloaked Frobos. They're taken to a giant Frobo judge, which I thought had a pretty dope design. Again, Amphibia has the vibes of a lost GameCube game, and this is just one of the many reasons why. Tritonio learns that he shouldn't abandon the people he cares about. His group kicks ass, and he's not better off without them. After pummeling the robots, he agrees to join the rebellion with his people, contributing to the battle strategy. Back at home base, Hop Pop finds a mysterious door with the letter P on it, obviously representing Plantar. But the age of the door makes it clear that this P is actually a flipped, stylized L, implying the room belonged to Leif. And another implication that she is indeed a Plantar. This room can only be accessed with the Plantar family tome, and within it is a mirror, a bed, a little model of a moss man, likely the one who Leif liberated, Leif's cloak, and a sealed envelope on a desk. Sprig reads the letter within the envelope, but assumes it's blank, a rather poor assumption, as Ann did find writing in invisible ink on the pot they found back in Fight at the Museum and Temple Frauds, a message left behind by Leif. However, odds are this letter wasn't meant for Leif's descendants in the first place, but instead King Andrias, whose goofy pink reading glasses are actually meant to read Leif's invisible ink letters in particular, as shown in The Core and the King. This is likely a letter that Leif left to explain herself to Andrias after stealing the Calamity Box and taking it to Earth. A letter that Sprig decides to hold on to and will likely deliver to Andrias during the final battle, the key to stopping Andrias. This sounds like this will be quite the intense scenario, all things considered, but if Andrias has a change of heart and seizes the invasion, this is the key. The last thing he needs to finally turn on the core. Before we continue, it's time for this week's Fan Spotlight.
Now I find myself in the wild unknown with the frogs and toads, and I'm far from home. But there's so much here to discover. One leap after another. Hop into the adventure, gotta rivet, jump on it. Amphibia.
Flight or Flight sees the surprising return of Domino 2. I don't care what anyone says about filler or pacing, this has been my favorite callback to season 1 thus far, and just put a smile on my face the whole time. This episode is largely an homage to the How to Train Your Dragon franchise. However, I unfortunately have not seen those films. I'll get to it someday, so don't roast me in the comments too hard for it. And I still enjoyed this episode all the same. And in the Resistance encounter Domino 2 stealing their rations. As it turns out, she now has babies to feed. One of these kittens looking a lot like Beerus from Dragon Ball. Anne embarks on a rescue mission after Domino 2 is captured by Andrias' forces, while the Resistance is left behind to babysit, leading to Hop Pop having a bonding experience that provides one of the craziest line reads in the show.
Love looks not with the eyes, but with the mind, and therefore is when you keep it painted black.
Also, Sasha goes from being more of a dog person to taking a liking to Beerus. Anne learns Domino 2 didn't forget her, and that she did indeed imprint on Domino 2, the cat-like creature still recognizing Anne as her mother. Anne and Domino 2 liberate the rest of the Moths, as an orchestral version of Flight of the Moth plays, first heard in season 1's Fiddle Me This. Sprig almost becomes Moth Garfield Chow, but Domino 2 asserts her status as the alpha of the pack, meaning if they tame Domino 2, they tame them all. The Resistance now has air cavalry. Yeah, this is gonna have huge endgame vibes. But as always, I wanna know what you guys thought about these episodes. Which return did you enjoy more? What do you think Leif's letter says? Drop your thoughts in the comments down below, or keep the conversation going over at Roundtable Vids and at AwestruckThoughts on both Twitter and Instagram. Be sure to give us a follow. If you enjoyed this video, please drop a like and subscribe to the Roundtable for more great cartoon content. Be sure to check out Toon Drip, and I'll talk to you guys next time. See ya!